started?
Mhm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we more awake today, or are we just as tired as yesterday?
Even worse.
Even worse? No. No, that's not okay. Well, I need you to wake up. I'm glad you're here. All right, guys. Okay, so we're going to continue learning. What did we learn about yesterday?
Landforms.
Landforms, all right? Can you guys tell me an example of a landform?
Hills.
Hills, mountains. Give me a different one. Just take a second. I will. A what?
The one.
Oh, a plateau.
Oh.
Are you talking about the flat? Yes, plateau.
It was like a mountain.
It's a plateau. Or remember one that, if you translate it, means table. What is that called?
Mesa.
Mesa, remember? Okay, good. All right, so just to review, so this is the content objective we really focused on yesterday. It says the students will be able to recall landforms using task cards with 95%. And we didn't get to finish yesterday, so we're going to quickly finish here in a second, and we'll go on to longitude and latitude. But be ready, because I might, just to check your knowledge, I might say, what is this? And you need to be ready to answer it, okay? And if you get it wrong, that's fine. I'm just testing your knowledge. Does that make sense? All right, so today we are going to look at students will be able to identify and apply longitude and latitude. All right, can you guys say that with me? Ready? Students will be able to identify and apply longitude and latitude. So longitude and latitude. So say that one more time. Longitude and latitude. Do you see the different sounds in there? Like you have the long and then la. All right, and then we by the end tomorrow, or in our next lesson, I'm going to be asking you to recall major countries. Right? We talked about that a little bit. Okay, so yesterday, our language objective, we did some previewing. Right? What did we look at in our chapter? What did we look at first? Headings and subheadings, right? Is it because they give us like an idea what we're gonna learn, right? Wake up! All right, so we did that yesterday. Today, we're gonna do some more reading, and we're gonna be doing some more. But you're gonna do more with a partner. So I think, kind of what we did yesterday. You know how you and Hugo were partners, and then you and me were partners, or you and I were partners, right? So you're the one who read the language objective yesterday, correct? Okay, Meliana, what is the language objective?
Able to read the program about how to locate various kinds.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but before we do that, and I'm going to review this. Let's go ahead and finish our landforms. Okay. So we finished with an island. Okay. Do you guys remember we talked about the? Is your computer dead? And then get a book to read. All right. So, what was the difference between an island and a peninsula? Do you guys remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. What surrounds an island, Victoria? Water, right? Okay. And a peninsula is water around it.
Oh, it's that thing that is like a middle.
Mm-hmm. Is it around all of it?
No.
No. Okay. What is an example of a peninsula? Emiliana, you were the one that you said, oh, okay, I see it's a peninsula. You were like that yesterday. You remember?
I was?
Uh-huh. What state is a peninsula?
Florida?
Yeah. Good job. Sorry, my voice cracked. Okay. All right. So I'm just calling you, and then we talked about a hill. What is the difference between a hill and a mountain?
The hill is not pointy.
The hill's not pointy? Okay, what is that pointy part called? Do you remember I told you? Yeah. Good job, guys. Okay. All right, so we're going to finish landforms. So we got a few more, and then we'll get on longitude and latitude. Remember, you got to say it slowly, because if you say it fast, it's just going to go blah. Okay, so the next one is a glacier. You guys remember a glacier? What do you think is another word for glacier? Well, actually, no, they're different. What can be a part of a glacier? What's up the Titanic?
A boat?
Oh, what bird?
Iceberg.
An iceberg, right? Okay, well, a glacier and an iceberg are very, very similar. However, a glacier is a huge mass of slowly moving ice that covers a large area of land. So an iceberg is just like a small version of it. A glacier is like a landform literally floating, okay? So it's moving ice that covers a large area of land, and glaciers are formed from compacted snow. So do you know what compacted means?
Nope.
So when something is compacted, is it easy to separate? No, so that means like it's really fused together, okay? Okay, a dune. Have you guys ever heard of something called a dune? Have you ever heard what a dune is? Okay, what is a dune made out of, Hugo? It's made out of sand. Okay, what's cool is this summer we went to New Mexico, and there is a national park called White Sand. There's a bunch of dunes. So can you imagine, it's like a huge beach, but no water. That's a bunch of sand dunes, but there's so much sand they kind of make little hills, and some kind of look like mountains a little bit. Like, have you seen the movies where they go to the desert? Okay, that's where you're gonna see a lot of dunes, okay? So a hill of loose sand formed by the moving of wind and water. Dunes are often found in deserts or beaches. All right, a delta. Have you guys ever heard of a delta? Delta, okay, so you know what is a very famous delta? Okay, what is a very famous river in Egypt? You guys remember what it's called? All right, eyes on me, eyes on me. Do you know what that famous delta is called in Egypt? That famous river? What is that famous river in Egypt? The Nile. Have you ever heard of the Nile? No, you've never heard of the Nile? Okay, well, I'm going to teach you. And the Nile is a very long river, very wide river in Egypt. You know where the Egyptians were? Have you guys studied Egypt with Mr. Castillo yet? Not yet? Okay, cool. All right, so a delta, it's kind of like, so imagine an island, but it's much, much smaller, and it's the middle of a river. Have you seen that? Like, have you ever been in a river and there might be like a random patch of land if you've never seen that?
I probably see a log.
You probably see a log, okay. Next one, what about a cliff? Are you guys familiar with that? A cliff, okay. So a cliff is the high steep face of a rock that overhangs water or land. Cliffs are often found along the coast. Okay, how many of you have ever jumped off a cliff? Like, I mean into the water. You've done it safely. You weren't dumb about it. You never jumped off a cliff? Oh, it's so fun. Okay, well, have you ever heard that expression? If your friends jumped off a cliff, what'd you do it to? Like, have you ever heard that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I won't do it.
You would do it? I think if there was a lot of safety measures, I would. But so one way you can remember is, like, if your mom goes, if your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? You know what I mean? No, I'm not saying your mom sounds like that. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, a cave. Have you guys ever heard of a cave before? You guys ever been in a cave?
Nope, I'm not one.
Is it fun? Was it like a cavern?
It was cold.
It was cold? If you guys ever go to New Mexico, Carlsbad is pretty cool. It's a naturally formed opening under the Earth's surface. Caves are often openings inside of a mountain. So have you never seen like a little outline in a mountain? You've never seen that? Or in a movie? Or have you ever been in a movie where people go hide in a cave because they're trying to run away from something?
Then boom, a bear comes out of nowhere.
And a bear comes out of it. See, look at you guys. Okay, a canyon. Does that look familiar? What is a famous canyon? The Grand Canyon. Okay. Do you know what that? So usually canyons are formed by water. They can be formed by. Okay, never mind. So it's a deep valley with very steep sides, usually carved into the earth by moving water, such as a river. So that's where the Grand Canyon is made, because it has that river in the Grand Canyon. Okay. Okay, canal. You ever heard of the word canal? Okay, so a very famous canal is in Panama, which is like Panama. I can't remember if it's near Central America or it's above it, but that's a very famous canal. And so a canal is a man-made channel of water for boats to travel through or carry water from place to another. So that means what they did is there might be like a large body of water, and they dug into the earth so the water can go like this. And usually what a canal does, it just makes shipping things by boat faster, so you don't have to go around things, okay? All right, the next word I'm about to show you, I don't want you to go ahead, let me pronounce it first, because it looks like a word and it's kind of funny, but I need you to be mature about it, all right? Okay, this is pretty.
What's it?
Miliano. What did I just tell you, sir? Okay, so the way you pronounce it is Butte. So say that with me. Butte. Okay, so no, it's not but. It's Butte. Okay, because there's an E there, alright? So, a landform with steep sides and a pointed or small flat top. Okay, so a butte is what remains after a mesa is worn away by nature. Okay, so remember we have that mesa. It's kind of like a plateau, but it's much smaller. But this is, Grayson. But imagine if, but here's the thing. So say you have like, it's a plateau, so it's flat, right? But it's smaller. So when it's been worn away, because does that look flat in the picture? No. That means that the earth is worn it away, so it becomes a butte. So just imagine, like have you seen things get to be really big and then over time things grow smaller? So imagine like you have a plateau, it's pretty flat, and then some of it goes away, and so it's a little bit smaller, but it's still flat. When a lot of it goes away, it gets even smaller, and then there's jagged edges, right? Do you see how the connection there? Okay. I know you guys know what this is. Beach, right? What does it have a lot of? Okay, water and, you just said it, sand, right? Okay, so it's a formation of sand, rocks, seashells, and other sediment located along the shoreline of a body of water. Okay, how many of you have just seen like the typical color of sand? Have you seen different colors in the sand?
Oh,
You have? What color? Brownish? Okay, did you know in I think it's Costa Rica, they have like black sands. Isn't that interesting? Well, the reason why there's black sands is because it used to be near a volcano. So, alright, so this one, have you guys ever heard of a bay? Heard of a bay? Okay, so a part of the coast where the land curves and creating an area of water surrounded by land on three sides. Okay, so remember a peninsula? So you got Florida, it's almost surrounded by water, right? So imagine that peninsula went like, do you see the difference there? So a peninsula is kind of connected to a main part of land, but it's sticking out with waters on one side. And a bay is like the opposite, and it makes kind of a curve. That's like a bay, all right? All right, so we are done with landforms, so I'm gonna kind of test your knowledge a little bit, okay? I'm gonna give you this one because I know you know what this is. What is that? What is it? It's a waterfall. Okay, how do I know that?
Water falling.
It's water is falling. Okay, yeah. All right. What is that? It's a volcano. How do I know that?
Yes.
What is that called? Okay, that's before it erupts. But I'm glad you remember that. So thank you for remembering. What does magma become once the volcano erupts? Lava. All right.
Ooh, a valley.
A valley. Okay, so a valley is in between two what? Two mountains. But good job for calling it a valley. Good job. What is that?
River.
How do I know it's a river? Yeah, okay. I love it. It curves and you see that body of water, right? Okay, good job. No. What? Plateau. Yeah. Okay, plateau is what land, Hugo? It's flat. Good job. Okay. I'll give you a hint. Think of Florida. What does it start with? It's the opposite of an island. What did I say was the opposite of an island? Yeah, peninsula. Good job. Okay. Okay, there's four of them. Yeah. Do you guys remember the name of the four oceans? Indian was one.
I thought I had it here.
Indian was one. Okay, what's in California? What? Pacific. Okay, so we have Indian, Pacific, Arctic, and then what's the last one? between London and this part of the United States? Starts with an A.
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Oh.
Yeah, good job. Okay. You guys are doing so well. I think we're gonna meet our content goal. Mesa. Okay. A mesa is a lot like a what? Well, it means a table, but remember I told you a mesa is a smaller version of a what? Plateau, right? Good job. Okay.
Oh, no.
Hmm?
I said mountain, but
No, it is a mountain. Okay, what is the pointy part of a mountain called?
Peak.
Peak, okay. Oh, we already did that, didn't we?
Lake.
A lake, how do you know that?
Because I don't know. It's right there.
It's a body of what?
Water.
Water. Island, because it looks like one, right? Okay, what is an island a lot like? Okay, so an island has what all around it?
water.
Okay, what has water all around it except for one part because it's connected to the mainland? It's Florida. It's a what? Peninsula, there you go. Okay. Hills, very good. Okay, hills is like a rounder version of a what? Mountain, right? Because a hill doesn't have a what? What's the pointy part called? Peak. Very good. Glacier, right? Glacier. It's made by what kind of snow?
Unbreakable snow.
Yeah, unbreakable snow, which is compacted, right? I love it. You didn't know exactly the word, but you're like, I know what it is, though, right? Good job. Okay, what about this?
Dune.
Dune, and we find this in a what? Desert. Oh, good. I'm so proud of y'all. Okay. Okay. I told you the Nile has one.
Is it Nile?
It kind of looks like a tree.
Okay, what does this look like?
I'm straight. A river?
It does look like a river, right? But when there's little islands in it, it's called a no, a delta.
Oh.
A delta, remember? A what? A cliff, very good. How do I know that?
Because
It's hanging over what? No, it is rock, but it's hanging over what?
Water.
There, yeah. Okay, what about this one?
Okay.
A cave? It's on the side of a what? Caves are usually on the side of a what?
mountain.
A mountain. A mountain has a what? Peak, there you go. A canyon, right? And what helps make a canyon? Wait, what did you guys just say?
Water.
Water, okay. Do not. Okay, I'm not testing you on that because you totally cheated. Okay, what is a famous one I told you earlier? What is a famous canal? Starts with a P. Are you listening, Linda? No. Panama? Alright. Cheating. Okay, what is it?
I just don't know.
It's a smaller version of a mesa.
Yeah?
Remember I told you to say it maturely?
Oh, a boot.
A butte? A butte? Okay, so are you gonna say that with me? Butte. Butte. I know the first time I looked at it, I was like, what? And I had to look it up because all of us wanted to go a butt. Okay, no, sorry. Now I'm not being mature. Okay. Okay, I told you this was it. Oh. What is it? Yeah.
You just call it map one.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you. Well, you don't get to answer it. Okay, so it is a beach. How do I know that? What is there?
Sand and ocean.
An ocean is made out of what?
Water and salt.
Oh, okay, you don't get to answer this. Okay, I told you it was kind of the opposite of a peninsula. Okay. No, don't stop it. Don't stop it. I'll edit it out later. Hello. Good morning. Uh-huh. All right. Bye. Malia, go to the front office. Sam. Thank you. Okay, what is this? Did you cheat?
No.
Good job. Okay, that's it. Good job. When you say, I don't know if that was 95%, but that was a solid, probably, how would you guys assess this? Probably not 95. What score would you give us?
50.
No, it wasn't, oh, you did better than that.
At 85.
I would say 90. Between, no, you did better than that. So we'll probably say about like 85, 90. So like,
87.
okay, 87. All right, yeah, 87. So we didn't exactly meet our goal of 95%, but we got pretty close to it when you say that. So that's okay. That's something we need to work on. So Bay, you probably want to look more at Glacier, Mesa, Peninsula. What was the one you guys had the plateau? I mean, you guys know what a plateau is, but we might need to,
Can't remember it.
yeah. Oh, and Delta. That's another one we need to work on. No, you know what? I think 95. I'll give you 90. I mean, 90. I'll give you 90. Okay. Now that we finished from yesterday, boys and girls. Thank you. Now that we finished from yesterday, we can finally get to our students will be able to read with a partner about how to locate areas on a map. Okay, so I want you guys to go to page 15. Go to page 15. Okay, and before we read, I want to ask you something. Okay, so how do we locate things now? Like if we want to go somewhere, what do we use? Huh? A what?
A GPS.
Oh, a GPS, yeah. Okay, how many of you are like, your parents are like, oh, I want you to put this in. I want you to put this in, and then you guys like, turn right. Or at the next stop sign, turn left. Sorry, Dr. Ripley. Man, I am popular today. Yes? Oh, sorry. Sorry. That didn't mean for it to come out like that. Yes, ma'am. Okay, you did. Yes, okay, no problem. Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. I apologize. That was something. I don't know what that was, but that needs to stop. All right, bye.
Where was the camera?
That come out rude. It's like, yes.
Yes.
And then Miss Scott goes, okay. Are you all right? I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. Sam, you're in luck. Miss Scott, how's your computer? Did you say finally? Can we say that a little kinder, please? Okay, hang on. All right. Get back to the lesson. Get back to the lesson. All right. So, what does the title say at the top? Someone raise your hand. What does the title say? Victoria. So how maps help us study history? Okay, so when you say maps change over time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. The water gets more.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember what when all of the states and things were together, do you guys remember what that was called? We read about it. Hugo, you said it. You remember?
That's it.
Okay. No.
A pet.
Pangea. Okay. So, is our world the same way it was? whatever many years ago.
Yeah.
No, things changed. Like, what's interesting is, you know, the United States might look very different. Because did you know when Texas was first being formed, it was huge? Have you guys ever seen how big Texas used to be? It used to cover parts of New Mexico and a little bit of Colorado because the land went like that. Like, so do you, okay, so, all right, so think of Texas, right? You know the long part here used to go up higher.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Man, you thought Texas was big now. All right, so also it says geographer's tools, right? Do you see that heading right here? Geographer's tools. So we're probably going to look at what we can use to what a map. So we use tools to help us what with the map? Okay, help us locate it. Oh, hang on, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that, I'm sorry. How do tools help us understand a map? It helps us to what, the map?
To find places.
Okay, to locate places and to what?
No places.
Okay, yes, to know places, but if you don't know how to use the tools, do you blank the map?
No.
So you probably say, I don't what the map?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know, but I don't
Think.
I don't remember, okay, I don't understand, right? So the tools help us what maps? I just said it. Tools help us what with the maps? I understand, very good, okay. Okay, so before we read, do you see these subheadings? What does that say, Hugo? And then, what does that say, Victoria? Maps, okay, awesome. All right, so we're gonna do some partner reading. And then when we get to this page, I'm gonna read that to you. Okay, so Miliana and Hugo, you divide how you guys are gonna read these two, and then Victoria, you and I are gonna divide how we read those, okay? All right, start with the title and then work your way down.
So which is
Okay. So do you want me to start reading or you wanna start reading? Okay, so how maps help us study history. Build on what you know. You probably use maps when you visit the mall, get on a bus, or take a trip with your family. The skills you use to read these maps can be applied to read any map. Geographer's tools. The essential question. What are geographers? Geographers use both books and maps to represent Earth. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Hey, you go ahead and read.
the geographer tools.
Mm-hmm.
What's the image of the moon that is more like
Globe.
shows the viewers that the
Continent. Mm-hmm.
and oceans appear on curved surface.
One event from one
Also shows the
of the globe is that it looks more
and
Relative.
and then shows the viewer exactly and oceans.
Go ahead and read the map.
And oceans appear on the Earth's surface. The globe also shows the shape, location, and relatives of the Earth, landform, and body of the water.
That is because surfaces show somewhat when it's black
Mm-hmm.
to create an in other fields the map can also however for most people to use maps because we see surfaces orientation or one thing the map that we measure is much more easily for another map like uses or accordance it's much easier to do we can help it.
All right, I'll go ahead and read this one. One disadvantage of using a globe is that you can view only half of the Earth at a time. This globe shows
The
parts
map
of North
lets
and
you
South
see
America.
it.
You did an awesome job. Okay, so obviously, if I was to say the main idea, it's telling me how to use what two tools would you say was the main idea? And yeah, you guys done reading? Okay, so so the way Victoria and I read it is that we were looking at the main idea. So we said that the main idea is that it taught us how to use two tools, which is what are the two tools? Okay, so, and then it told me, it started comparing and contrasting what two things of amount. We were comparing okay, so the pros and cons, or advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so what is one advantage of a globe? You can look back. What is an advantage of a globe?
It looks more like.
Okay, so it's more accurate, right? What is a disadvantage of a globe?
That it's
A globe is small.
compared to the Earth.
Okay, well, we're too small to see the whole Earth unless we're in a rocket ship, right? Can you put a globe in your pocket?
No.
So it's not very portable, is it? Okay. What is a advantage of a map? You can put it in your pocket. What is a disadvantage?
That it doesn't show the whole.
Mm-hmm. But here's another thing too. Can you really zoom in on a globe?
No.
No, but a map you can't, right? So you can see the whole world on a map. You can see half of the world on a map. You can see a country. You can just see a state, right? So we can get smaller and smaller. All right. Now turn the page. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then we're going to use Mr. Castillo's handy dandy longitude and latitude after we read this, okay? All right, it says most maps have 9 features. As shown, seen in the map above, these features described below help you read and understand maps. The title. Well, obviously, the title tells us what? What? What is the name of the country? What is the name of the country right here? Okay, so having a title tells us what is what. Okay, what it's about and what it's called. Right? Okay, you are known by name, right? If I said Emiliano, it would narrow me down to 2 people, right? But people say which Emiliano, and I would say Emiliano what? Emiliano M. Very good. And that's how I know I'm talking about you and not the other one, right? Okay. A compass rose. Okay, do you guys know what a compass rose is? Okay, you're right. Those are the directions. Okay, look on the page. Which one looks like a compass? Have you guys seen that before? I love how you guys are pointing. Have you seen that before? Okay, do you see how, to me it doesn't look like a rose, but can you see where they would think it kind of looked like a flower a little bit? So that's called a compass rose. Okay, symbols. Symbols represent such as items of the capital, cities, and natural resources. The map legend explains what the symbols mean. Okay, so have you guys ever seen a map where they have they'll have little dots or little icons, and then it will have it throughout the map, and then it's labeled on the side? If you guys look up here, so go to number 3. Okay, so the capital has what kind of symbol? Has a star. And then other cities, it's basically saying boys and girls. What it's saying right here too is, it's saying that the cities are big cities, but are they the capital? Okay, so do you see how there's a star for the capital, and then there's a dot for other cities? So that's telling you they're not the capital, but those cities are still important, or they're bigger, okay? Legend. Okay, the legend or key is a listen explains the symbols and colors used on the map. Okay, so a legend would be, wait. No, it would probably be this one. Would be right here. Do you see how it's a legend? It's kind of a legend. Just think of it as like the key, right? It's like answers. Okay, here we go. Now we're about to get exciting. Okay, lines of longitude. These are imaginary lines that measure the distance between east and west of the prime meridian. Okay, so if I said east and west, okay, who wants to draw? Okay, if you were to draw a line, what would that line look like if it was from east to west? Would it be vertical or horizontal? East and west. Okay, so this is vertical, this is horizontal. So is longitude Horizontal or vertical? Horizontal, right? Because we're going from east to west, because we have never east. Okay, so we have east and west. So that line is what? Horizontal. So the lines of latitude are imaginary lines that measure north and south. So north is north at the top or the bottom? Top, and south is at the what? Bottom. So latitude is vertical, right? So up and down. Okay. Okay, scale can be used to figure out the distance between two locations. So for example, so let's look at, so this is our area. So Dallas is right here. Here's DeSoto. And then what city are we? Red Oak. Okay, I would say that Red Oak is what of Dallas?
No.
What direction? Is it north of Dallas or south of Dallas?
North? No, south. No.
It's south, right? Okay, so would I be using longitude to measure that or latitude? So-
Latitude?
Okay, look at your thing. So longitude is from east to west, right? So
North to south.
so north to south, I'm using what to measure it? Okay, so longitude. Latitude, right? Because latitude is from north to south. Do you see that? Since Red Oak is south of Dallas, I mean, you still use longitude, but if you were doing it from Dallas to Red Oak, I would be using either longitude or latitude. Like, look. Okay, would I be using longitude or latitude? Latitude, right? Okay. Labels indicate the names of cities, landforms, and bodies of water. So, do you see those dots? It tells you, those labels tell you what's the name of the city or the land, and the colors represent a variety of information on the map. Okay, this is in what colors? Black and white. So can I really use the colors, at least on this?
No.
Probably not. You can guess, but it's not the best, is it? All right. Now we're gonna go a little bit further into longitude and latitude, and then we're gonna do some practice on the other side, okay? All right. All right, so let's remember here. So longitude is from east to west. So is that horizontal or vertical? Horizontal, right? Because you're doing east to west. And latitude's from north to south. So is that a vertical line or horizontal? Vertical. There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. Okay, latitude and longitude. To help us locate places on Earth, map makers have drawn two sets of imaginary lines on maps and globes. Did we just learn about maps and globes?
Yes.
All right. Okay, one set of lines runs east and west. These lines are called parallels, lines of latitude. So, so if you think of parallels, you think of what? Okay, you're thinking way too hard. Look at here. So when it says one set of lines runs east and west, these lines are called parallels or lines of what?
Latitude.
So if they say parallels, you automatically want to think of what? Latitude. There you go. The equator, for example, is a parallel. So the equator measures the heat or the coldness of the Earth. The equator. Does that measure heat or the coolness? Heat. Very good. The closer you are to the equator, the more what the weather's going to be. Hot. Very good. Okay. The distance are measured in degrees. So, you guys know what degrees is? It usually measures what? Temperature, but in this it measures how long, right? The equator is at 0 latitude, and the North Pole is 90 north latitude, or 90 degrees north. The South Pole is at 90 south latitude, which is 90 degrees south. There are other special parallels. The Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer are north of the equator. The Arctic Circle and I love how you're following along, that's awesome. The Tropic of Capricorn are the south of the equator. The second set of lines that runs north and south, these are called
Longitude.
Long with it too. Long.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go with this one, okay? So, Interesting. Okay, so these lines are called, so east and west are latitude. Okay, so forget what I said about longitude. All right. So latitude is from east and west, right? And then longitude is north and south, okay? So I'm so sorry. So this is longitude and this is latitude, all right? Does that make sense? Yeah, I think this book has it backwards, right? Does that make sense? All right, so what I just tell you, I need you to flip it, all right? Does that make sense? Okay, so these are called lines of longitude or meridians. Meridians measure distance between east and west of the prime meridian. The meridian that runs through British England. You know, I've actually been there. I'll show you a picture. It's pretty cool. The prime meridian is at 0 degrees longitude. East longitude extends to the east of the prime meridian. West longitude extends to the west of the prime meridian. Both east and west longitudes extend half the way around the Earth because there are 180 degrees in a half circle, and there are 180 degrees of west longitude and 100 degrees of east longitude. On a globe or world map, 180 west longitude and 180 east longitude are represented by the same line. When lines of longitude and latitude are put together, they form a pattern called a grid. So a grid is when you combine what two things? Very good. Okay, so for example, what part of the world is located at latitude of 15 degrees north and longitude of 15 degrees west? To figure this out, you use the grid to find one spot where these two lines cross. On the grid on the page 5, you can see the lines of 15 north and 15 west across in Western Africa. All right. Okay, so. All right, let's test our knowledge here a little bit. You ready? Okay, in degrees, what is the Earth's farthest point from south? So, okay, so if you're at south, right? What is the farthest away from north, right? Very good. If you were at 60 degrees north, how many degrees south is the equator? Okay, if you're 60 degrees north, how far are you away from the equator? You don't know? No. So if you're at 60 degrees north, okay, so hang on. So if you're 60 degrees north, so this is 60 degrees north, right? So let's use our lines here. So we have, so we need to do, so we're at 60 degrees north. You're at 60 degrees north. How many degrees south is the equator? So the equator, huh? Well, the equator is at 0, right? So here, so look, so the equator goes straight through the middle, right? And what is 60 degrees north? Right here? So, okay, if this is, so this is our longitude, right? And we're at the equator. So what does that say right here? Hang on, I shouldn't have used that marker.
30.
All right. 30 what? E, right? So hang on. So we have, very good. So, because that's our latitude, right? Because latitude measures east and west. And then you have, our longitude is 60 degrees north, right? So when you cross the north, and you cross the longitude with the latitude, we get how many degrees south of the equator? 30, right? Okay, awesome. Okay. We're gonna do some more testing. How many minutes are we at?
44.
44? Okay, so we're gonna do some more testing tomorrow. I know, because we kept getting interrupted, right?
Yeah.
All right, so far, we're gonna accurately keep locating tomorrow, but before we end, So our goal, our language objective was to be able to read with a partner about how to locate areas on a map. We kind of learned how to locate things on a map yet? Or we're starting to? Alright, what two things are we using to locate that? Longitude and latitude, right? Okay, and then we're also using a globe or a map here. A map because it's only half of it, right? Now it looks like a globe because it's what? Because it's circle and it's round, right? But in actuality, we're actually looking at a what? A map. Okay, good. A map. Okay, go ahead and stop it.